Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Amazing. Jade, thank you for being here with me. I'm a bit nervy, so we're going to get through this together.
Oh, man, you're going to do great. How's it,
All right.
guys? Everyone, tell us when you're here, man. Come on. So how's it?
So hello. Welcome, guys. I'm going to be doing a Jeff Ed on acceptance is key today, sharing a little bit of my life story, where I've been and how I've got through some pretty tough times by accepting them. So let us know you're here, and I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, please pop in the comments. Hello, Amy, Jeff.
Hi, Amy, Jeff.
Hello. So, yeah, guys, please pop in the comments. So how's it? And yeah, this
Hi,
is Lauren.
Mark. Thank you for joining. Hello, Taylor, Shivani. Oh, lots of you coming in. Yay, very exciting.
Sure, guys, we're gonna get going in about a minute. So, because we only have half an hour, it sounds long, but it really goes fast. So just keep typing in, say how's it. This is Lauren's time. I'm just here for, I don't know,
moral support.
Moral support. I'm not going to be doing much of the talking. I think you guys hear enough from me on a weekly basis. So this is Lauren's time. The beautiful coach Lauren, who's been part of our team now for what, Lauren? 3 months? Almost 4 months.
No, 3.
3. It is 3.
7th of July will be 3 months. Yeah, it's crazy how time flies.
Yeah. It has flown, but because you're such an integral part of the team, it feels like you've always been part of the team. So I still can't believe that it's only been 3 months. No, really.
Yeah.
Hand on heart, the truth. So yeah, how's it, guys? Hello, Liesel, Beverly, Tanya, Claire's here. Auntie Pat is in the house.
Auntie Pat, hello.
Hello, Michelle, the gorgeous Michelle Rogers. Guys, over to this incredible human that I am so privileged to be in a team with. So for those of you who don't know, we've got a big coaching team, right? The team, we've got about give or take about 30 coaches. Now within the broader team, we've got micro teams. And in each team, there's a team lead and coaches. And I am part of the team, that micro team. I'm in a team with Lauren. So I'm very, very privileged. So yeah. Over to you, darling. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Oh. All right, guys, I am a bit nervous, so please bear with me if I stutter and say words funny. But basically today I wanted to share a little bit about my journey into acceptance, with regards to my history, my past, with alcoholism. I am in recovery and have been for the past 5.5 years. And at first it was a difficult journey to kind of accept that this is who I am. This is the road that I've gone down, or the path that was chosen for me. And it was a big part of my own personal journey. And that it was a life that I was going to live for the rest of my life, being in recovery and not drinking alcohol ever again. And it was quite daunting because I used alcohol to hide. I used it to numb emotions, to wear masks. I had many different masks on. I was a different person if I was with this group of people. And it kind of diluted who I actually was as a real Lauren. This is the real Lauren now that you see, but 5 years ago, I didn't know who that real Lauren was. And it's just been an incredible journey to find acceptance in who I am, but also that things happen for a reason, and that's what has made me the person that I am today. And I have the ability to share my story. There's no shame in my story. I don't feel any resentment or guilt or anything towards the life I've lived. I'm actually incredibly grateful for the strength and the power that it has given me to move forward, to help people and to share my experience and lift others up. I think that's been the most incredible gift of recovery. But it's also towards body acceptance. I had, within my alcoholism and that journey, it's been a really difficult time to accept my body, who I was. I didn't like myself. I didn't feel that I was worthy, that I was good enough. And a lot of that came down to low self-confidence and self-esteem, which is obviously where the alcohol came in, the masks were put on, and I was a totally different person. I had this false sense of confidence. I loved myself. I was able to do or be someone else. And it took me a while to come to terms with who the real Lauren was. I'm not that person. I'm not that crazy person that goes out dancing and likes being sociable and had massive crowds of people around her. Now I go to the shops and like, you just keep in your line, you stay away and you go there and I stay here. So it's been a massive learning curve as well to realize that what the drinking did, but also how false my life was and how fake I was towards myself, and how much pressure I put on myself to be a certain way when it wasn't me. None of it was me. And it's incredible. I look back and I look at photos of myself where I thought I was fat or I was big and I didn't look good. And I don't even recognize that person. It's quite an eye-opener when you look back at a photo of yourself, let's say 16 years ago, when I was deep in an eating disorder. I had bulimia and anorexia, and I couldn't even recognize the girl looking in the photo. The smile was fake. The body was just, it wasn't my own body. It's a very surreal and kind of eye-opening moment. And it was a big wake-up call for me to realize and see how undervalued my body was and how I didn't appreciate it for what it is. And it's been such a massive acceptance curve there as well, realizing that I'm never going to have a thigh gap. I'm never going to be able to do the splits or run a marathon, and I'm okay with that. But I can do 10 squat jumps and my thighs can hold me up in jumping lunges. And, I have the power to lift up a 10 kg dumbbell. Not many people can say that with their thigh gaps and like that false sense of this is what you need to look like. I think we all grew up with the Heat magazine and the ideal body shape. And I strived for that. Without a doubt, that was my goal. I wanted to look like Angelina Jolie. I can't. I'm 1.5.
Angelina Jolie. You are you. You are Lauren Walsh.
Exactly. Yep. And it's insane how media and peer pressure is so involved with how you can't or you're unable to accept yourself for who you are, for who you were created and how you were created.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing to hear stories from people who have also been in recovery and how I've met them in recovery as well. And the way that they saw themselves while they drank and while they were in that deep, dark hole it's chalk and cheese compared to where they are now. Today, they look at themselves, they love themselves for who they are. I love myself for who I am. Look, I'm not perfect, and I fully accept that. I'm crazy. I am who I am.
We love your craziness.
Thank you. It is. It's that sense of fun, and this is me. If you don't like me, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not your type of person. But at the end of the day,
right?
Exactly, it's fine.
Because a big part of that comes also. Sorry to jump in there, but a big part of that lack of self-belief and confidence also comes from a part of that. You'll find that you want people to like you. You want everyone to like you. You want
exactly.
And when you find out that someone doesn't like you, it's like torments you, and you sit there and you think, oh my gosh, what did I do? And again, you're not gonna like everyone, and that's also okay. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. You can't get on with everyone. You can't like everyone. We're different, and beautifully so. That we just accept the differences, and that's it. I mean, sure. The one thing that you mentioned, which was quite interesting, was how you look at old photos of yourself and you don't even recognize that. I mean, it's you because you can see it's you, but I believe like that wasn't me. Wow. And I think the underlying theme there, or the thread that runs through, the common thread through all of that, is just that you weren't being your authentic self.
No, not at all.
And because you were being inauthentic to you, you were probably being inauthentic in the relationships and in your life, family, friends, romantic relationships, whatever, and that, and that's, it just reminds us how important it is to be authentic and to be true to who you are. It starts here, right?
Exactly. So true to who you are. And I think that's why this is such an important topic for me, is because there is no shame for me around my past. Like, honestly, I'll sit down with you for like 16 hours and tell you my whole story. Like, I don't have any guilt. And in the beginning, it was difficult because you look back and you're like, oh, well, if I'd done this and I hadn't done that, then I would be in a different place. But at the end of the day, it's the journey that I've taken. It was the one that was meant for me. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It's got me here coaching people and sharing my story, sharing my experience. And like I said earlier, lifting them up. I've done it so they don't have to. And I think that's just an incredible gift because it's hard. It's not easy. But if I can hold someone's hand and be like, you know what, I've been there. I didn't like myself. I didn't like where I was at, but I got up, I dusted myself off, and I moved forward. So having that ability to accept what is and what can be, instead of going back and saying, I should have done this, I should have done that, it's not a way to live. And that's where you jump in. And that's what's amazing with coaching or the one-on-one program. You commit to yourself. You're not committing to anyone else. You're not doing it for anyone else. You're not doing it for your coach. To be honest, you're there for you. Your coach is there to hold your hand and guide you and support you. But you're committing to yourself. And that's what's amazing.
Absolutely.
That's what is incredible about that.
I mean, you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but in terms of, so you were at point A, you realized that that's not where you wanted to be because you weren't being true to you and you were hurting yourself through your different behaviors. How did you? So you said you dusted yourself, you dusted yourself off. You got up and you moved forward. How did you do that? Like how does one go from a place where you're hiding behind alcohol or you're starving yourself or eating and then binge and then purge mentality? I mean that's a lot. So how did you do that? I mean I know when I say that, I know that not everyone is coming from that same place.
Yeah.
But I think what a lot of people struggle with is, I know where I'm at and I know I don't like to be here and I don't want to be here, but how do I dust myself off and move forward? What are the mechanics, or at least from your side? Yeah.
So from my side, it was accepting that I needed help. It was accepting that my life, honestly, and I don't mean to scare anyone, it was either I die or I get sober. It was at that point where it was deteriorating. I mean, I was driving drunk. I was either going to die or someone else was. It was a terrible state of affairs. But I made that choice to accept that I had a problem. And I think that is the first step. Accept that I have a problem, accept that I need the help, and that I can't continue on the way that I am. So I ended up going into treatment for 5 months. And there I went through a grueling 5 months of going through everything. I mean, you dig deep and you deal with issues that you had issues with when you were 9 years old. You go that deep and you unpeel the onion. And eventually you don't actually even realize that the alcohol is missing. You realize that you were missing. And I think that's what, I'm getting emotional now, but that's what hit me, is how I was missing from my own self. And that I'd lost myself so many years ago. Sorry.
Sure.
But
no,
it's
okay.
something.
It's okay to get emotional. You can make me emotional too.
I wasn't meant to. That hit hard. But it's this journey of realizing that whatever pain and hurt and trauma or whatever else you've gone through your life, it's happened to make you stronger and to build your character and get you to where you deserve to be. And I think that's what's so amazing with when I do connections with clients or I phone potential clients, is having that connection where they're like, Lauren, I've gone through this, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm there. I've been through that as well. And you connect on that level where you're human. And you bring yourself down from this arrogance of I'm on top of the world, I'm invincible. And you humble yourself and you're like, actually, I'm human.
Yeah.
And I always say I'm only human, which is, I mean, I'm human. Like it's a powerful thing, but I'm not invincible and I'm not perfect. I have my cracks. I have my scars. I have I'm not great. Like, I'm weird and I'm funky, but this is who I am. And I think accepting the whole me as a whole, you know, from the tip of my toe to the top of my head, and loving it for who I am. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I never will be, but I'm perfect in my own space and my body and my own truth.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing where I want to share here with acceptance is key, is accepting yourself where you're at this moment, accepting that there is so much more in front of you. There is so much more to live for. And there's so much more of you that you need to experience and that you need to find and learn. You know, we all get stuck in this dark hole. And especially now during these times where it's lockdown and everything seems up in the air, we get stuck. We get stuck in the dark. And that's where we're comfortable, because we know that we can, excuse my language, but we can bitch and we can moan and we can sit there and we can hold on to this yuck feeling because that's what we know. And we don't climb out of it because it's so comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's where we know. And you look at the light at the top, you're like, I don't really feel like climbing up there right now. I'm a bit tired. But you know that once you reach that light, there's a whole new world and there's a whole new exciting someone out there that's ready to face the world and fight. And I think that's what's so important.
Absolutely. I mean, Sanika has just said now, it's so brilliantly, and it's so true. I mean, it marries with what you've just said now, Lauren, is that acceptance of who we are is the first step to not only healing, but also growth. And again, guys, you don't have to have gone through what Lauren has gone through in her life to have those same feelings of not recognizing who you see in the mirror, or not recognizing the person you see in photographs, or feeling like just not feeling happy with where you are in life, whatever that may be. It could be super, super small, could be super big. It's all relevant, and it's all, it might feel small. I often hear people say that, sure, what I'm going through, it's nothing compared to what Lauren's gone through. Well, but it's big for you. And it's, that was big for Lauren, and she's overcome so much, and she's an absolute hero. And wow, so incredibly inspiring and brave. I mean, as someone said earlier, I think it was Auntie Pat, for sharing with us here and being so real and so raw with us. But just because you maybe didn't go through what Lauren went through doesn't make your thing less. Does that make sense? So no matter what you're going through, it's big because it's important to you and it's about you. And that's why it's important. And that's why you should prioritize it. So and that's also why this is such a relevant and important topic, because, and going back to what Sanika said and what Lauren's been saying now, is that those of you who really, 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 really want to make a change in your life, and you want to prioritize your health, and you want to become a better version of who you are, whatever that may mean, maybe it's about being more mindful and having more sort of, I don't know, making time to meditate once a day, or maybe it's about eating more balanced meals, getting more sleep. Maybe it's about prioritizing stretching and recovery. Maybe it's about whatever the health and fitness journey you're on. That's why it's so important. Lauren wanted to share this today. And why she's sharing this is because if you don't accept who you are now in this moment, whatever moment that is for you, you will struggle to take that first step and see it through.
Yeah.
You'll constantly come to a place where you've reached that proverbial, or that imaginary wall, whatever that wall is in your life. So, and that's why change is hard, right? I mean, that's why, it's not just about, I'm just going to do this diet for 2-3 weeks, lose 4 kilos, and then I'll be living my best life and I'll just maintain it. No, there's obviously something else going on. So, you dig deep and just love who you are in this moment, warts and all. And it's through that acceptance and through that self-love that you'll be able to make a significant step forward, and a significant lifelong change. You'll never look back.
No, never look back. And I think, look, what I have been taught is that every day is a new day. And yes, you look back, but you learn. You learn from the past. So you look back and you're like, oh, I remember doing that. That was a terrible decision. But then you think, oh, but I'm never going to do that again. So look what I've learned, And I think that's what's important as well. When you decide to make the change and you're like, okay, cool, I accept where I'm at right now, but I also accept that I need to put one step in front of the other. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to get to where I believe I should be or where I deserve to be. And it's accepting that it's going to be hard. There will be tears, there will be blood, there will be sweat, but you'll get to that point and you'll be like, I'm at the top of this mountain, and look down, you're like, how did I even get here? How have I climbed up this mountain at such a rate where I haven't even noticed that I've moved? And I think that's what's so incredible, is that every day you keep moving forward. And that's, you put one foot in front of the other, and the next thing you realize is 3 months down the line, you're like, wow, where did those 3 months go? And you change, your marks fall off, your centimeters fall off, your sense of self comes back, and you realize that, I don't actually have to pretend to be someone else, or I don't have to aspire to look like Heidi Klum. This is me. And what I've suggested to a few of my clients is that every morning they wake up and they write on their mirror and they say, I love you, or look at that sexy bum, or something like that, just to kind of put it out there that there's a bit of an intention towards loving themselves and their bodies again. It's so hard to look at ourselves and pick ourselves apart at like this little speck of hair that's sticking out here, or the cellulite and the scars and the bumps. We're only human. Like, we're not plastic. We can't just iron that stuff out or change it over. I mean, imagine if we could just change our legs over and put new ones on. I mean, we're not authentic. That's not who we are. And I love it. Like, I think it's a really important part of my journey in treatment is I went to the beach and I used to cover myself up. I hid every inch of my body. I honestly was just, I could not let people see me. And I managed to walk the length of the beach in my bikini. And I got back to the center and I was like, my day has just been made. Like, I'm mind blown that I managed to actually even do that. And it seems like such a small thing for some people, but for someone, when you are your body is kind of your identity, and you draw to yourself because your body isn't good enough, then you're not good enough. And I think being able to kind of shed that, well, it's not a light, but shed that kind of coat that you wear because you're not deemed good enough, or you don't think that you look a certain way, or your self-worth is so low. It's so amazing. And I think it's an incredible step for the one-on-one clients as well, when they can say, I can wear this pair of jeans that I couldn't wear 3 months ago, or look at me, I can show my tummy without thinking, oh my word, what am I doing? It's such a gift.
Absolutely. So Claire Pearson's asking, she'd love to chat to you one-on-one, Lauren. What I'd ask, Henny, if you don't mind, Lauren, you just want to rattle off your number quickly so Henny can add it as a banner across. You can just pop your number there for us. Just read it, or just read it out loud, and then your work number.
I've just got to find it. Sorry, now I've got to find it.
And then Henny can add it as a banner across. So Claire Pearson and anyone else who wants to, take this offline and chat to Lauren a bit further, a little bit more, that's absolutely fine. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Sure, let me find it.
No, that's fine. You carry on, girl. Has anyone got any questions? Julie's sharing it. Oh, Julie, you are so on the ball.
Thank you, Julie.
I love it.
It is 072.
Henny, listen up.
252 1834.
There we go. Awesome. There we go. 072
Thanks, Julie, rockstar.
Julie, what a legend. Oh my gosh, where would we be without that woman? But guys, at the end of the day, as Lauren said, we've only got 5 more minutes. If you guys have got questions, please pop them through. And there we go. There you can reach.
There we go.
Coach
awesome.
to chat further. There it is on the screen. Thanks, Henny. Sure, between Henny and Julie, we can rule the world. Goodness gracious. Love it. But no, just to sort of say, feed on from that, at the end of the day, just remember though, guys, whilst you're climbing that proverbial mountain, whatever your mountain is, don't expect your journey to be linear. I think that's incredibly important to mention. And I know Lauren can relate. Any one of us can relate who've been on a journey, who's still on a journey, wherever you are in your life. It's not going to go like this. You're going to go forward and then down and then back and then It's a bit like a cha-cha. You know what's that saying? I take 2 steps forward, I take 1 step back. I'm not something, I'm doing the cha-cha. I don't know, I can't remember what the phrase is, but it's very cute. And it's true. It's true. And you don't for a second believe that 1 step back or 5 steps back or 50 steps back means that you are failing.
Oh, never, never.
Because part of reaching that destination, whatever that destination is for you, is the journey. It is the journey. You cannot know success. You cannot know what true success is without having experienced true failure, because you have nothing to measure it against.
Exactly. And don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think for me, especially, is the fear of failure is why a lot of my times I didn't get to where I dreamed of being, or, you know, I'm going to fail, I'm not even bother trying. It's not like that. If you don't try, you haven't failed. That's the thing to remember.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so often we do that, right? It's self-sabotage. We're like, well, I could never imagine myself achieving that, so what's the point of even trying? And you won't even consciously have that conversation with yourself. It'll be happening at the back of your head. You don't even realize that you are telling yourself these lies. Yeah, geez, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But Lauren, what an amazing human you are. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so in awe of you. You are a very brave woman, and I think we just feel so thankful to know you, to be a part of a team with you. And I think I can speak on behalf of everyone that's here, that's watching, whether they're watching live or they're going to watch this on catch up later. I think just we are very, 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 very thankful and honored that you felt brave enough and safe enough that you could share your story with us. And like you said, I mean, I know half an hour sometimes feel like it's a really long time, but it's really not. I mean, I'm sure there's so much more that you have to say. And that's also what makes you an epic coach, is that you've been there in your own way, shape, or form. We've all got demons, we've all got stories to tell, you know. This is your journey, and that's how you relate, and that's why you relate so beautifully to your clients, because they know that in your way you've been there in your own way.
Absolutely. I think that's what's so important, as we just before we end off, is that our thinking is so negative, and it's so easy for us to believe what our mind is telling us. And I know I feel guilty. I am guilty of it a lot of the time, is that it will tell me I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough. And then I'll show it. I'll be like, let me show you. I can do 10 push-ups on my feet. And then I'll do it. You know, it's that knowing that your mind is telling you lies and that it's not your truth, and flipping it over to a positive where you kind of test yourself. You're like, okay, cool. If I'm going to fail, let me show you how I'm going to fail. You know? Or if it's that negative, let me show you how negative it can be. And you can actually change it around to a positive and be like, well, I actually did amazingly there. I didn't do 10 push-ups, but I did 5. So there, you know, it's changing the thinking to a positive instead of keeping in that negative darkness, I think is so important as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lauren, we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who joined.
Yeah, sure, guys. Thanks so much. And again, keep the comments coming. Even if you think of a question later on, please pop it in the comments. We've got Lauren's mobile number in the comments as well, so you're welcome to reach out to her directly. If you missed that, scroll up. If you still can't find it, you can find Lauren on Facebook. You just search for Jeff Coach Lauren. Super simple. And you can drop her a DM there. But yeah, guys, awesome sauce. Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, guys.
Acceptance is key, hey?
It is. 100%. Don't lose it.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys.